Blessings, beautiful people. Peace and blessings. I'm going to get this thing started at 18 after. Give me about 2 minutes. Peace and blessings, beautiful people. Give me about 2 minutes to get this thing started. You heard, man. Let the algorithm do what it has to do. I hope all of y'all had a great day today. Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. I'm going to get this thing started in a minute. You heard, man. Peace and blessings, beautiful people. All right, we got two people in this thing. Let's go ahead and get it started. You heard, man. If this is your first time, I'm only talking to one person at a time anyway. If this is your first time coming across my live, I am Tommy Durrell. I focus on the mindset. I focus on changing the narrative. The Lord knows that there's strategic things that you're going to hear on tonight that's going to go against your programming. And once it go against your programming, chances are you decide to settle it with emotions, just like you do, or just like you were taught to do in your earlier years within the family that you became a part of. If you really think about it, there's a lot of things that's actually taking place in the world, and in that world, everybody has different experiences. So there are strategic things that you only focus on when it comes towards the world that you're experiencing. And with that being understood, then that is the actual revelation whenever it comes towards understanding that certain people will never change. You heard me? There's a multitude of people I can say a multitude of people, and on a day-to-day basis, we'll say it like that. A multitude of people on a day-to-day basis only focus on the world that they were taught that they can only live. And if you're a person who thinks that all you have now is all you'll ever have, then chances are that means you gave up on life. So it don't really matter where you at on the particular totem pole. You can be in your 20s, you can be in your 30s, you can be in your 40s. And the interesting thing about it, chances are there's a multitude of people that's in this world that thinks just like you. And some way, somehow, you don't believe that y'all can find each other whenever it comes towards social media. You heard me? Think about it. There's a multitude of people who still have yet to surrender to the Lord. There's a multitude of people who have still yet to trust Him in the way that we were all designed to trust Him. Because Scripture says that He knew us intimately before we were born. Before He placed us in our mother's womb, He set us apart. So if you really think about that, you know what I'm saying? So I had an intimate relationship with God, and the life that I'm living, the stories that I tell, it doesn't sound like I ever had an intimate relationship with God. I only had these different types of relationships with the people that's in my story. But those people that's in your story are basically designed to make sure that you don't change. Think about it. When it comes towards your friends don't want you to change. And in previous stories that I told, oh, you know what? I'm tripping. I ain't even doing no introduction. I just kept, hey, I'm so disrespectful. You heard, man. Hey, I'm so disrespectful. You'll see how when the spirit starts to lead, man, listen, I don't know where they came from, but at the same time, I hope that there was someone that got something from it, because I was going through Proverbs 6, and all of these particular thoughts came to my mind. And tonight, I believe, is going to be a great night for me to start this new podcast that I've been talking about. So right now, you're going to get what I consider as the first episode of My People Podcast. That's the name of it. That's what I call it. You heard me. My People Podcast. So welcome. Welcome to this particular episode. Now, in this podcast, I'm only holding conversation with one person. You heard me. So although there's a multitude of people that's going to come into the room, I am basically going to still be talking to one person. You heard me? So again, if this is your first time coming across my live, I am Tommy Durrell. I focus on mindset. I focus on changing the narrative. So what you're going to get is something that I considered as talking into your blind spots. If you've never heard the sermon or the speech that I give on blind spots, you're going to have to catch me whenever I'm doing like a mindset 101 course. You heard me? But this one is like a whole nother level, because I've been gone for a while, and in my being gone, I got this download like a week ago, and today going to be the day that I tap into it. So My People Podcast, what I'm doing is I'm looking for the individuals that are assigned to me. You heard me? On a day-to-day basis, I hold a conversation with a whole lot of people, but at the same time, not all those people are my people. You heard me? So as you listen to this particular message that I'm about to bring forth, you're going to hear, as you hear the sound of my voice, you're going to know if you're some of my people. You heard me? So watch this. As your brother. Now, I can be talking to a woman, or I can be talking to a man. As your brother, what's this? As your brother, I know that although we're meeting for the first time, my baby, I want you to understand that I spoke to the Lord about you. You heard me? Well, that will kind of go off pat, because if I'm talking to a man, I don't know, I may break the conversation up, but y'all get the gist of it. You heard my baby? I was talking to the Lord about you, and he told me that he broke the mold after he created you. You heard me? He broke the mold after he created you. And I got a sister that is one of them type of little women. You heard me? So my baby, I want you to know it's beautiful to meet you. You heard me? I've been looking for you for a long time. And what's so interesting about it, it was last week, or maybe like the week before, I put out a call for you. And I told people on TikTok that I was separated from my sister at birth, and I'm trying to find her because she's getting taken advantage of in a world where she doesn't know who she wants, or doesn't know what she wants out of this life. And I'm only trying to reach her before she gets pregnant again. Now, sis, what's so crazy about it? The whole week leading up till today, there were so many people reaching out. They were like, man, I'm praying for you. I hope that you find your sister. I hope that the Lord shows you favor. And guess what? I found you. Now, I understand that nobody in your story knows that you're afraid of success. Because that's the reason why these people are taking advantage of you, because they know that you really don't want nothing out this life. And as long as you portray that particular avatar, my baby, everybody gonna take advantage of you. You heard me? And what's so crazy about it, you probably starting to think, I appreciate you, Miss Gloria. You probably starting to think that I'm talking about I hope somebody getting something from this. Miss Gloria, I'm doing something different tonight. This is considered as my first episode of my People podcast. You heard, man. Let me see. Let me bring it up a little high. That way I can keep rolling. You heard, man. All right. Sis, like I said, I'm blessed. Sis, like I said, there was a lot of individuals that was helping me to find you tonight. And I can't take this opportunity lightly because it's a chance that you might be too deep in the world that you're experiencing to where you don't even believe that me and you was disconnected at birth. You heard me? Now, what's so crazy about it, I was never told until my birthday just last week, on my 42nd birthday. But at the same time, both of my parents are already gone. And the Lord allows me to get a chance to hold a conversation with you before you get pregnant again. And as I mentioned, I know that it's a chance you might not be able to get pregnant again. So don't think I'm not talking to you as well. Or don't think that just because you had the hysterectomy already that I don't know, or you're not in that category. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. I want you to know that I know that every man that you consider as a man that particularly broke your heart, you still angry about all those individuals. But the issue is, I need you to understand that you played a part as well. And in that playing a part, you were connecting yourself solely to monitoring spirits, as well as familiar spirits. And the reason why I'm about to teach you about this or give you a story about this is because I know that no one in your story cares enough to hold this type of conversation with you. You heard me? For those of you who never left the house, you stay close to your family. Your mama stay 5 minutes up the street. Your mama stay in the house. So you say that your mama stay with you. That type of situation. My baby, what I need you to understand is your mother is just a character in your story. And in that character is also a teacher in your story. But let me help you out on something. Now, don't think I'm about to try to turn you away from your mom. I'm definitely not trying to do that. And don't think that I'm sitting in here trying to blame or trying to basically tell you that you're doing something wrong, because you're not. You heard me. I want to give you the understanding from a male's aspect on behalf of certain things that you probably wondered about a man or whatever, because every woman got all kind of questions about men, and they be wanting answers, and I believe y'all should get answers. But in order for you to get an answer, you got to ask a man the question, because chances are, since you don't want to commit to your relationship with the Lord, that means every male that you've ever operated with or operated within was just a male in transition. Because remember, the scripture says that he knew us intimately. Before he placed us in our mother's womb, he set us apart. My baby, you were supposed to live a set apart life, but strategically, you've been living the wrong life. And look at how long it took for me to find you. You heard me? My baby, you've been running. You've definitely been running. But guess what? It is what it is because, like I said, I know that it's a chance I may never get a chance to talk to you again. And I got to be okay with it because I know that this is by God's design. So, as I mentioned, to those of you who never left, they made you believe that you were supposed to take care of your family. They made you believe that you were supposed to take care of all your brothers and your sisters because you was the oldest. They made you believe that they made you believe anything, whatever it is that you say, my baby. You heard me? Because I need to know your story. You got to understand. Once I get a chance to talk to you, then I'm going to get the understanding, and then I'm going to be able to bring back more to the conversation. So y'all going to help me with this, depending on what kind of, you know what I'm saying, what type of interaction that I actually get on behalf of it, because I'm about to go deep. I need y'all to know I'm about to go deep. Watch this. So you never left. You're at where you're from. And at the same time, chances are your mother is still there. Chances are your mother isn't there anymore. So if your mother is still there, I'm gonna talk to those first. If your mother is still there and you never left, what I need you to understand that chances are you never thought about leaving. And there's a reason behind that. And then chances are you thought about leaving, but then you went and had a conversation with your monitoring spirit. And then that monitoring spirit basically bribed you not to change, or not to change locations in this case. But at the same time, she still doesn't know that she allowed her mama to bribe her from leaving the particular location. So not only did your mama decide that she basically don't want, because you got to understand, think about it. Your mama told you don't move because listen to the reason why. She told you not to move because she didn't want you to make the decision that she didn't make. Think about it. Your mama told you not to move because she didn't want you to make the decision that she never made. When she was supposed to make it, she never made it because guess what? They made her believe that she was supposed to stick around and take care of the family. So guess what, my baby? Chances are you're about to repeat that same particular cycle. But like I said, don't think I'm judging you, my baby. I'm just here to open up your mind because I need a sister. In my story, I'm an only child. At 42, my parents are both gone. It gets lonely out here. So strategically, I know that there's brothers and sisters for me everywhere. So I don't operate out of what's considered as the orphan spirit. You heard me? Because I was never an orphan. My story gave me as an only child. I never knew my parents, but strategically at the same time, I'm not an orphan. I don't identify by that. Because each and every one of us has gifts from the Lord, but not everybody is actually afraid to actually encouraged to tap into it by individuals who never think about it. I need y'all to write that down. You heard me? Watch this. You decided to tell your mama that you was going to move away. Matter of fact, let's go to another side, because that was for people that still have their mama. Now, this is for the ones that don't have their mamas no more. Well, sis, guess what? You decided to go on Facebook and basically post a meme talking about, mama, you taught me how to do everything except how to live without you. But at the same time, my baby, this is what I need you to understand. It doesn't matter how long it's been, because chances are you still grieving. And since you're still grieving, what I'm about to tell you is something that's about to be very harsh. But I have to tell you because I love you. And I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm trying to tell you what the truth is. My baby, they don't have a scripture that's in the Bible that says nothing about us going to heaven after this life. So think about it. All those nights that you cried, mom is in heaven, all that. Let's go deeper, because I don't want to lose you. I want you to understand what type of brother you have, because I'm gonna take you to another level. Watch this. What if you found out that in order, because you got to understand, I believe what you believe, but you're not going to make me just believe what you believe. So watch this, because I know you got a mouth on you. They told me that you sassy. Watch this. If you think about it, still to this day, you still haven't tapped into the things of the Lord. While your mama was here, you still didn't tap into the things of the Lord. So if however long it's been, if I would have caught you the day before, because you got to understand, you're still grieving, but I'm going to show you why you're still grieving. Watch this. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you why you're still grieving. I'll go that route, because somebody needs to hear this. So in my story happened to me. My story happened for me, not to me. Watch this. For me, not to me. In my story, as I mentioned, I'm an only child. But at the same time, I was raised by my grandmother. Now, with me being raised by my grandmother, that means my grandmother allowed my mama to go ahead and have a job or whatever the situation is to put some money in the house. So some of you have that same story, except my mama was doing this back in the 80s. So some of you are still doing it currently. Watch this. At no point you ever thought on the level of spirits. There's somebody out here that has a narcissist mother or a narcissist father. Chances are it's a narcissist mother, because that's where the spirit is leading in. So you have a narcissist mother, and you still have yet to discover. You see how the story has levels? So this level is you have a narcissist mother. Some of y'all don't even know. And since you don't know, that means she can reign supreme in that particular area. Because if you don't know, because you got to understand, when it comes towards the thing of the Lord, as long as you don't know, my baby, you don't know. But once you try to find out for yourself, it's when you like, wow, this is what's going on. It's going on in front of you. And the crazy thing about it, you sleeping in this life. And the so crazy about it, 99% of the people that's in that world, they don't even know who they are. And you be up there fussing with them. But you my sister, and I love you. I'm telling you, there's another world over here. If you just come on, stop straddling the fence. You got to understand, why have so much talent? You know that you're smart. You know that there's people that can't do certain things that you do. You know, every time somebody call you for a cookout, they know they want you to make such and such. They know that you it when it comes to that. But at the same time, my baby, why are you hiding yourself from the world? You still believe that such and such broke your heart, when in actuality, my baby, that's not how it ever happened. What happened was you decided to be family and not be set apart. So since you decided to be family first, everything that came with that bloodline, you had to deal with it, because you forgot that the conversation was y'all had an intimate relationship, which means you know exactly what family the Lord was going to place you in. But you told God that regardless on whatever they would have tried to do to you, you would have still came and be the one to change the trajectory of their family. So who's talking to you like this in your story? Who's trying to wake you up in your story? Everybody is involved by making sure that you never accept your crown. Because think about it, chances are you done got married already. Now, some of my sisters done told me they don't like when I said, but at the same time, my baby, until you have a relationship with God, a real relationship, I'm talking about for real, and you tapping into your calling. You got to understand, you did everything backwards. You decided to go for the relationship first, and then you want to try to go see God. But at the same time, the person that you laying next to, that particular person not designed to see God, because that particular person was only a familiar spirit. So a lot of y'all are married to familiar spirits, but your family taught you that your family taught you to be loyal. So now you got to be loyal to what your mom and them did. Your mom and them went 35 years, 40 years. My baby, this is 2025. Them numbers going to start coming down if you think about it. Because this is what the issue is. And a lot of people don't talk about it. Present day, it's still going on present day. Lord, y'all got me going somewhere. I'm going to come back. Present day, there are grandmothers that's 35, 36. So the original grandmothers that's like 65, 70 and all them, the issue with that is y'all are looking at her as the pioneer of the family, just like we all did. But strategically, if Big Mama don't have no relationship with God, that means once Big Mama closed her eyes for the last time, that means every demonic door that Big Mama had ever opened, that she was tied to that whole particular time, that whole particular existence, is still connected to the family. So none of that is going away. So at what point does it ever get spoken of? Because you got to understand, as long as you have ever introduced yourself to your grandparents and asked them about strategic things, and they don't want to give you these family secrets and all this other stuff, you have to understand that you're going to have to go through certain things in life that has absolutely nothing to do with you. And it's all on behalf of your connection. If you decide to accept the Lord as your Savior, that means everything previous has gone away. Clean slate. Every morning you wake up with a blank canvas. You heard me? A blank canvas to where you can draw whatever life that you want to live. Think about it. Some of y'all still doing vision boards in January. What that's looking like right now? Collecting dust. You just went to with them girls because you thought they was going to encourage you, but at the same time, them little women is basically helping you to not accept your call from the Lord, and you helping them to not make decisions that you afraid to make, because at the end of the day, you're afraid of success. So your family taught you how to live in worry, doubt, and fear. But none of the new men know about that. All you tell the new men is about the old man. And when you tell them about the old man, all you're doing is giving him access to be able to wear his mask until he gets the combination to the lock. And then now you get taken advantage of again. And now you're blaming another man again. My baby, it's time for me to get you out of that. You heard me? It's time for me to hold a conversation with you, because at the same time right now you're losing. But at the same time, in that life, you believe that you're winning, because some of y'all got a lot of pride. You heard me? Y'all got a lot of pride. But at the same time, watch this. As we mentioned, they bribe you to never change or want better. Your mama told you, don't move, because she didn't want you to make the decision that she never made, that she was influenced not to make. My baby, I'm trying to wake you up, but I'm not saying go turn against your mama. That's not what I'm sitting here telling you. What I'm telling you is the day that you were born as a balloon with helium in it. When they pulled you out your mother's womb, they tied a string to the balloon and they handed it to your parents. There's some of you that been to balloon releases before. Some of you haven't, but those that haven't, they understand the gist of it. So, or better yet, on the way from the balloon release, did you ever see the balloons on your way home? You never seen them balloons. You never even thought about them balloons. You heard me? So y'all, you know that if you release the string on that balloon has unlimited potential. But my baby, nobody know that you're holding your own string. Not even you. You didn't even realize it until I just told you. Unless you was already here, you heard this before. But at the same time, let the Lord speak. What's this? Because somebody needs to hear it. My baby, think about it. There's so much chaos going on in your background right now that's trying to keep you from hearing what it is that I'm saying. You might get text messages. Somebody gonna call. You got to understand there's been spiritual warfare since day one, and you've just been taught to learn how to accept it. You doing something, you watching one of your shows, somebody call, they call the first time, you don't answer. They call the second time, you end up answering, and they keep you on the phone for an hour and a half. Now, your hour and a half of your evening is gone on the strength of something that'll never get resolved because you don't have no wisdom to even give that person. You only have that stuff that's considered as don't heal, just go to the next one. That's what a lot of women are basically pumping out there. Don't heal, just go to the next one. Because if you think about it, sis, where was healing in the baby raising manual? You just raised some children. Your baby just look like they just graduated from high school. And those particular children don't know. Them people didn't want you to leave because they never left. Some of y'all was raised by your grandmothers or your grandfathers. So y'all when Big Mama them left is when you supposedly you lost everything. Like you lost the house and all that. No, my baby. Big Mama them was basically teachers. I remember with my grandmother had like a sixth grade education at that particular point in time. But of course, there's something totally different these days in some instances, but not all. You heard, man. There's some, there's a more of a majority of those who graduated from high school, especially the ones that's 35, 36 these days. You heard me. This is gonna be part two. I'm gonna tell y'all about part two right quick. So it's gonna be crazy. So, have you ever made the discovery? Now this is for men and women. Watch this. Have you ever made the discovery that every man and woman have a spirit of a man and woman within them? We're gonna talk about that for round two. Well, for number two. I don't even know when we're gonna do part two, but let's keep going on part one. You heard me. Think about it as far as it's not just your mother. So I don't want you to ever have an attitude with your mother. Because you got to understand, your mama got a sister. If your mama got a sister that's your favorite auntie, then chances are we talking about your favorite auntie. We're not even talking about your mama, because chances are you had a better relationship with the auntie than you had with the mama. And that's just what it was because y'all was just so close. You heard me? But at the same time, you was telling somebody, you was telling the wrong person your dream, my baby. Because if you understand what I'm saying, it's not just your mama that never left or influenced you not to leave. It's your favorite auntie that never left that influenced you also not to leave. So what I need you to understand is, my baby, these pioneers that you have in your story that you're taught to cry over once their time has expired is basically being a hindrance on your growth. Now, you can't blame your baby daddy, you can't blame your ex-husband or whatever the particulars may be for none of that but yourself. You got to think about it. They teaching you to teach your children the same way. That's the reason why some people went to college in the same area. They never left home. That's how strong that spirit is. This is a spirit world, and y'all are not seeing certain strategic things that are taking place right there in front of you, and you just go on by it with no issues. Is it making some sense? If it's making sense, I need you to put in the comments #FYP if it's making sense. Because I don't want to be the only one that think like this. You heard me? Somebody else got to think like this too. And if you think like this, my baby, I'm telling you, I need to hear from you. You heard me? I need to hear from you. You told all the wrong people you dream. And they didn't want you to make the decision that they was afraid to make. You also have to understand between, well, you can't even say between, because chances are if you still got your mom and your favorite aunt, you're still in that same particular spirit. Now, what's so convenient about the spirit is that you don't feel like you have to change anyway, because you're two pioneers. You on the titties. You're still connected to the titties. That's basically what that means. So you still haven't started living life yet. And chances are you may be about my age or a little later. But at the same time, I'm not, as I mentioned, I'm your brother. I'm not judging you. I'm just showing you. I'm revealing your blind side, because think about it. You have had male after male after male since you broke your virginity the first time. Nobody taught you about healing. They only taught you to go to the next and not heal. That's all they taught you. I know it sounds harsh, but at the same time, I care about you. You heard? I hope that you're getting something out of this mess. But like I mentioned, I don't know if we're going to get a chance to talk again. Like I said, I'm going to come back with another episode, but we're going to see how this one actually takes place, because I love that it's so intimate setting. Only 9 of y'all. This is so intimate right here. I love this. If you really think about it, this is probably the first time you've ever thought on this level all at one time. And it's so unfortunate, because at the same time, I know that you're still going to fight what I've been talking about tonight. And I have to also be okay with that, because in a previous season, I wouldn't have a chance to talk to you, because I will put too much of my heart into it. But then I had to realize, while being in the valley, that emotions aren't real. Once you take away emotion from any situation, that's like lighting a fire. If you take away that fuel, then that fire has to go out. Holding a conversation with a person, think about it. Watch this. Let me show you something. This is why emotions aren't real, because in that world, you may consider yourself as, you can fight or whatever the deal is. I'm not saying that you hood, but if things went down, you would know how to handle yourself. But that's in a world where 99% of them people don't even know who they are. And I'm not just talking about outside people. I'm talking about the people that you have in that small circle that they help create for you. Because you decided to have your circle small. Your mom and them keep their circle small. So basically, y'all only probably hanging with they cheering or whatever the deal is. And they cheering ain't going to want nothing, because they created y'all to make sure y'all don't want nothing. So at the same time, what do we actually want? All we want is another relationship to come up here and basically manipulate another man, because you're still not understanding what it is that I'm telling you. And the reason being is because chances are you about to go lay next to him tonight. After I just told you that since you don't have a relationship with the Lord, that you're not operating in your call, that you're not operating in your purpose, that means that man can only be a mirror of you. And outside him just being a mirror of you, he can only treat you like you treat your relationship with the Father. And chances are you still haven't realized that you still tell people your business that don't need to know that you don't have a relationship with God. But what do you mean? I don't tell people that. Yeah, because you got to understand, you're too prideful not to talk about it. None of your friends talk about it. You don't even, you still ain't even learned how to pray yet. Think about it. There's more things that you have on your plate than basically allowing yourself to become who you truly was sent to this world to become. My baby, you something like an alien, and you still don't even you want to be a part of this world. This world has so much to offer you. You sitting up here on this wick, you sitting up here on these fixed income situations, and they telling you that you can't have no man over there. So you still sneaking in some little hood dude or whatever the particulars may be, knowing that he just put in some time or whatever the deal, you was holding him down. And my baby, what is that life? My baby, that can't be. Think about it. If you wake up in heaven tomorrow, what's going to be your story to them people that's going to ask you, what did you do with your time on heaven? Think about your time on earth. My baby, they've been watching the whole time. So whatever story you going to lie about, this is what you're going to do with your one opportunity. Now think about it. The world tells you YOLO. So years ago, you was on the YOLO T. You only live once. You only live once. Some of y'all ain't got a tattoo. You heard? But if you think about it, you live multiple lives in this one life. Check this out. You lived a life as a baby. You lived a life as a toddler. You lived a life as a teenager, a young adult, an adult. Chances are you may get to become an elder. But if you think about it, in each one of those sets of years, you lived different lives. It didn't matter what happened. You still lived a specific life, or a life had to change because this particular situation happened, or something else had to change. You understand where I'm coming from. But you allow yourself to get so manipulated over situations that you currently teaching your children. Because guess what? They told me that you had an Easter egg hunt at your house a couple of months back. Well, a month and a half back. You still sitting up here lying to them cheering. My baby, how you want to get blessed? Think about it. You be in them churches, you probably be in them churches with the little hats on, you heard me. You make all kind of noise. They know how to dance too. You heard me? She do her thing. She know how to pray. She speak in tongues, all this stuff. But at the same time, still manipulating them grandchildren. The same thing Big Mama taught you to do. My baby, Big Mama gone. Big Mama not coming back. As the elder, what's this? Why do you have so many grandchildren and nieces and nephews that remind you of somebody that been here a short time ago? This is what I need for you if I'm talking to the Big Mama right now. My baby, do me a favor and start you a YouTube page, you heard me? All I need you to do, because obviously your grandchildren not going to have the courage to come to you, but I need you to do something. It's like, this is going to be considered as a life insurance policy that nobody even have to buy. Watch this. Now, if I'm not talking to a Big Mama, if you still have your Big Mama, tell her, present it like it's your information. Present it like it's yours, because we have to change. Watch this. Now, we got 10 students in the class, so that means I'm about to change 10 families right now that still have Big Mamas. Check this out. Go to your Big Mama and think of, matter of fact, all the cousins that you grew up with, the ones that you know you grew up with, get on the phone with them and ask them, what questions would they ask Big Mama if they could? Or start a group chat and have everybody do it, to the point to where all you do is go to Big Mama. You ask one question at a time. However long she give the answer, you go ahead and cut it off. You go to the next question. What that's doing is that's creating content that's going to actually blow up once Big Mama close her eyes for the last time, because every generation after generation get a chance to go watch her answer those particular questions. But at the same time, you're going to hear this. I just gave you $1 million idea. And some of y'all not going to do nothing with the information because y'all don't mess with your families like that. That's what they taught you. They taught you how to act like that. That's the reason why if you would believe that, man, I love how he talk. I love what he's talking about. I want to hear more. And then you keep coming and then you pretend like you can understand or stay on this high level. And I'm going to reach out to you because I want to talk to you. I want to at least, you know what I'm saying, make sure that you encourage. And then I'm going to say something that's going to offend you. And then I ain't going to never hear from you again. So that means that flavor, that energy was never able to match up because I'm here to help. And you thinking that I'm talking to you like one of them people in that world. No, my baby. I'm trying to get you out of there. Because this is what I need you to understand. You're sitting in classrooms too long. What does that mean? Whatever story that you've been thinking about on tonight, on behalf of what I mentioned, of you staying home, not leaving. You got to think about it. Even if you never stayed home, some of y'all got cousins that never left. And these are the cousins that we talking about. Or the nephews, or the sisters, whatever. Y'all know somebody that's like this. But what I'm trying to teach you is that's a spirit. And that spirit is reigning supreme over your family. And nobody's saying nothing about it. Everybody get to the family gathering, and nobody said nothing. Family in a crisis, and nobody said nothing. You heard me, my baby? That's what you call slavery. Y'all are in a penitentiary within your families, and y'all still haven't broken out. And the Lord, you think you walking around with shackles. And the Lord is right on the other side of that, been carrying you through it. You got to understand, you think that life is so hard in that world that you're experiencing, when in actuality, you have a lot to do with the world that you're experiencing. Because if I ask you, what's your favorite movie? What's your favorite female character or actress? What's your favorite male character actor? You will start writing. I'll start seeing all kind of stuff come up. But at the same time, there's a movie that one of them was in that wasn't really good, but at the same time, you wouldn't even watch it again. I seen that one. I didn't like her role in that. So my baby, I need you to understand that that's you and your role. In your role, your mom and them basically taught you to make the same decision that they was afraid to make. You graduated high school, you graduated college to move right back home to where you what you left for. You heard me? Really think about it. What was the purpose of actually leaving if you was coming right back? You're not getting paid what you actually are worth, because that's all you want to do is work a 9 to 5 anyway. You don't want to tap into any type of business. You don't want to show how unique you are. You don't want to show what you can bring to the marketplace. I'm getting tired of talking to these beautiful women that really don't want nothing. And at the same time, guess what? In that world, they promote lust and all this other stuff, and they're going to always have somebody to fall for that. So they're going to always be on until things start sagging too far. Then, you know what I'm saying? You know how it go. That's considered as them old Jezebels. You heard me? Them type of women that had never been single. Since you broke your virginity, my baby, you ain't never been single. And nobody knew that. Except you and all them dudes that you still have umbilical cords with present day. I appreciate you, sis. You heard me. Sis, I see that you just came into this thing. I'm doing what's considered as My People podcast. This is a whole nother different way that the Lord is going to allow me to be able to hold a conversation with my sister. I know for sure you seen this, you seen the clip that I put up like about a week and some change ago. I said that I was separated from my sister at birth, and I need to talk to her because she's being taken advantage of in a world where she doesn't know what she actually wants out of out of her life. And I wanted to hold a conversation with her before she got pregnant. And this is the way that the Lord has been able to set it up for me, because there were so many people reaching out, saying, especially on Facebook, they blew it up over there on Facebook. People sharing that particular information, writing all kind of comments saying that, we praying for you and the family and this and that. But at the same time, there's a multitude of women that's on this live that are afraid of success. And there's nobody. It's all our secret. It's just our secret. You heard me? And since it's our secret, I'm basically speaking life into their situations, basically allowing them to understand that, my baby, I need you to see it. Well, not really, I need you to see it. The Lord is speaking through me. So the Lord needs you to see it through his lens, because the issue is, in that world where you never left home, you've only been seeing life through your lens, the same lens that you've been looking through all your particular life, but you've never taken the opportunity to allow the Lord to speak through you, or actually give the opportunity to basically accept your call and basically understand that everything else goes away. But in the midst of that, you're just sitting in that life. And I hate to tell you that you're only waiting for your turn to be in the middle at the next funeral. I know. I definitely know. Because what's so crazy about it, when it came towards my story, my particular story was something like that. But we'll get into that when the time is right. But wherever you're at this point, you can be in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever. If you still struggle or have that understanding, because you got to understand, in your story, you still believe that your daddy didn't want you. You heard me? You still believe that your daddy didn't want you, when in actuality, the day that you was born, you met your first two characters, or you met one of your characters. But at the same time, one of your characters, there was the one that actually told you that your daddy didn't want you. Now, let's fast forward. Chances are things didn't work out with you and your baby daddy. And what you did, all you did was repeat the cycle. You never did nothing else different, my baby. And it don't matter that your mama had you at 15 and then you had a baby at 20. That don't matter. You did the same thing, because all you did was repeat the cycle. And nobody's still not telling you that the only reason why it happened was because the Lord was trying to show you what they was lying to you about whenever you was that age. Oh, have mercy. Queen Fitness, I know you caught that one. Choo, I know you caught that one. Hey, my baby, we in a dirty game. You heard me? We're in a dirty game, but at the same time, I need you to remember, I'm not judging you. I'm not sitting here trying to tell you that you're doing nothing wrong. What I am telling you is, in the Bible, they talk about 7 spirits. When a person has one spirit, think about it. It all started way back in the day, because at the same time you came into this world, you came into sin in this particular world. So if you decided, because the scripture says that he knew you intimately before you were born, before he placed you in your mother's womb, he set you apart. So you were supposed to live a set apart life. You didn't come to be family, but since you decided to be family, that means everything connected to that family became connected to you. And you told the Lord that you was going to still change your narrative regardless of what them people would have tried to do to you. But that's hard for you to understand, because you still got the titty. You heard me? The titty's still close. You don't have no reason to change because the titty is there. And when in actuality, the titty going to have more power once the titty is no longer available than it has at this particular present moment. And that's another spirit that's keeping you from basically making a decision that your mother never made. Think about it. If I ask you, who will you become once your mother is no longer here? You're going to start to process a particular answer, when in actuality, my baby, whatever decision that you make, let's go do it right now. Why not allow her to see it before she leaves? You got to think. Your mom is the one that basically made you believe that you're supposed to grieve whenever somebody passed. or big mama. Somebody taught you that. So in a world where the devil doesn't have to touch certain families because he knows that that the older generation is going to talk the next generation out of the promise. So if you think about it, your whole life, you've been in a trance to where they deeply programmed you, they deeply manipulated you to make yourself believe that everything that I'm saying right now has absolutely nothing to do with you. That's that's the bad thing about it. But guess what? Like I said, I gotta be cool with it because I'm looking for my people. And in the midst, I'm gonna find me some sisters and some brothers that's going to fully understand everything that I'm talking about. And they're going to add so many pieces, so many puzzle pieces to their board. And then there's going to be the religious folk. They're going to be trying to find out, man, what is he talking about? Why they don't. My spirit attracts light and dark entities. Unfortunately, I have to let you know that my calling isn't connected to adults. My calling is connected to the youth. So with that being said, if there was something that I said tonight outside of the fact that don't think that I'm judging you, my baby, that's the part that I'm praying about the most. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I lost some good sisters on behalf of them getting emotional with me. After telling them, my baby, emotions not real. Think about it. How can emotions be real if every man that you claim that broke your heart, it was your reason that he came into your story at the beginning? You the one that brought him into your story. Remember when they used to say that don't talk to strangers when you're leaving the house, my baby? You started talking to strangers. Some of y'all got them different baby daddies, my baby. I thought you said you were shy. Think about it. My baby has nothing shy about you. This is another spirit. The things that you speak over yourself. There's some people that believe in voodoo. Voodoo is believed by those that believe in that. Outside of that, every situation that was ever created by man, the Lord took care of that when he sent his son, his only son, to die for our sins. So everything that happened goes away. Why you can't live the life understanding that everything that happened just goes away? And you start to become a brand new creature. You read Romans 12:2 every day. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. If you never renew your mind, you have to understand. You still talk about your baby daddy 10 years later down the line off the multiple relationships. At what point does that stop? That wasn't your last relationship. You're programmed. Come on, my baby, really? So, and you still sitting up there blaming the new dudes. My baby, no. It's been you telling the same story. Think about it. You was a comedian. You telling the same particular story and nobody believing it because you lying too. Think about it. You blame them when it's always been you. Lord, have mercy. Because guess what? Your mama taught you well, my baby. You got to think about it. How you operate right now and you still believe that it was your daddy's fault? No, my baby, you took after your mama. Your daddy just couldn't tell you. You heard me? He couldn't tell. Think about it. Watch this. How many men you met you remember meeting as a youngster? Don't worry, I'm going to wait. Y'all was thinking that I was just talking to the men when I was saying that. No, a lot of y'all mamas, y'all met all these dudes. All of them was paying different bills in the house. Nobody was tripping because they would come there. They would all give you candy. So you wasn't tripping. But at the same time, my baby, think about it. You got the dog in you from somebody. You can get it from your daddy. At the same time, I need you to understand the conversation with your daddy. Watch this. If you still believe present day that your daddy didn't want you, there's a few things that we're going to talk about. Have you ever found out what your father's story was? Have you ever considered that? You heard me? Think about it. You consider your story so much and you tell it with so much passion. He don't want nothing to do with me. You sound like your mama. Because at the same time, if you think about it, your mama will say that she ain't never spoke bad about them cheering daddy to them cheering. But what about them homegirls? I bet you they know. Just like, for instance, let me open up your mind to something. Your best auntie, your favorite auntie, if your mom and your dad them didn't work out, what you think her role was in the situation? You never thought about it like that. Ooh, have you thought about it like that? What role did she play in that? Because if you understand, if there was some type of trauma in that relationship, why wouldn't your mama call somebody to come get her or whatever the deal, just like you do? I don't think you're gonna like me as a brother. You heard me. I'm gonna go ahead and say that because my baby, if you're willing to think, you heard me. I'm looking for my people. Where my sister at? You heard me, my baby. I've been looking for you forever. There's so many different things that I want to talk to you about. You heard me. But anyway, let's get back to the situation at hand. So to those, this is what we was talking about. Tonight is my first episode of my People podcast. Something that the Lord dropped into my spirit a couple of weeks ago, whatever the deal is. My opportunity to do it because last week, week and a half, whatever, I put a message out for my sister, and this is my opportunity to hold a conversation with her because there was so many individuals that I thought was thinking on a certain level, and they was like, "Oh my God, I hope that you find your sister. Have you found her yet? Is she?" You know what I'm saying? Speaking encouraging words to me. Everything the Lord is going to provide. He said he will never leave nor forsake us. I'm listening to all that, and I'm like, wow. So if you know, well, chances are that's pride, because you got to understand there's a prideful spirit to where you don't even know that you don't want nothing out of this life. That's a strong, my baby. You understand how strong that spirit, how that spirit got you in the headlock. You heard me? And if I was to hold a conversation with you about going live on social media, they got some people that'll get mad at me. They're like, you know what I'm saying? You keep trying to people push, get people to do lives and this and that. Think about it. If I was to ask you to do a live, you would probably sit up there and block me or something like that. Oh, no, that's not my lane. How is that not your lane when everybody else that's in your lane not doing none of that? You afraid to step out and be your unique self, even in your family. But that's the family that you love the most. So what they're saying is, if you believe that we are part of the same tribe, then chances are you can only treat me how they taught you to treat them. Oh, no, you're not going to treat me like that. You heard me, my babe? I'm here to love on you. You heard me? I'm here to speak so much life into you to where you forget about them people, really. You heard me? Because the same thing, the people been lying to you. And everybody else that you found out that was lying to you, you either ex them people out your life, you either went over there and fought with them people, y'all play on social media behind each other. Some people that support them went to each other's house and then shot at them and all this other stuff on behalf of people. Think about it. Once you watch the news, these are people that don't know who they are, and y'all sitting up here falling for this. Y'all are posting on your social media and everything. Look at this. Look at what's going on. Oh, so now you a sportscaster or some type of newscaster now. Come on, man. Hey. My baby, you saying that you're trying to go viral in front of them? Hey, there's no way. Think about it. Anybody that went viral, they was very strategic on going viral. There's this one little chick I talk about it every time. I came across the FYP to find that 200,000 people had liked, another 1,000 people had shared, another 2,000 people had loved or saved, and maybe 4,000 comments on behalf of watching this little chick scratch the dandruff out her head. That was the moment that I knew that the little conversations that I am having, looking for the people that I am looking for, I'm not going to be able to find. I'm not with y'all, because you got to understand, y'all got to hold me hostage. Y'all not going to tell nobody about this. Oh, no, I'm not. Some of y'all over here with hidden motives. But anyway, my sister, I love you. You heard me. They bribe you to never change, though. So since they bribed you, think about it. Your family bribed you to never change. But at the same time, you've had multiple relationships with multiple different men, and you've blamed all of them, and at the same time, you still never change. You got to understand, you got a homegirl that been in all your relationships. Every new dude, she gotta act so surprised to meet him and all this other stuff. And you gotta try to figure out why is she not telling you, my baby, there's only one common denominator in all those situations. You keep calling me crying, and it's been your fault since the beginning because you were supposedly operating out of your flesh and not realizing that sex is not supposed to be until marriage. So nobody told you that all the sex that you've had, you created, was considered as an umbilical cord with all those men. Some of y'all are married that still have umbilical cords from previous relationships before you got married, and you still can't figure out why that particular relationship not really moving like it used to move. When in actuality, y'all both sitting there with all them soul ties from previous relationships that nobody has ever rebuked, got delivered from. Just continue to move on and continue to move on, and then consider yourself as this strong woman and all this other stuff. When in actuality, my baby, you don't even know what your heart's saying, because your heart is so guarded. And what's so interesting is you'll try to hold a conversation with me, and you'll try to treat me how you treat or how you're used to holding conversations with those that's in that world. And some of y'all have the nerve to come try to send me acronyms. You heard me, my baby, really. I got to try to figure out what the acronym is. You heard me? I got to go and do a Google search to try to see what you talking about. You heard me? But the more to the story is, my baby, you've been living the wrong life. And the reason why your relationships never worked is because it wasn't designed for them to work, because that's the reason why you end up staying home, is because your parents, your family, the people that you love was doing whatever they could to make sure that you don't accept your call from the Lord. It don't matter that you stay 40 minutes away. If you still in the same state, my baby, you never left. Because all you doing is, if somebody call and say something wrong with somebody, you can just slap down, no problem. Nah, my baby, the Lord is calling you higher. You heard me? But at the same time, I understand that it may not be the season for this. So I'm going to tell you like this. If you've been listening to what I've been talking about tonight, you're going to think about it. You heard me? Or the devil going to just take it just like he take it every other time. So it's really upon you on how you choose to actually operate out of what it is that we're talking about. Because at the end of the day, I don't think there's going to be nobody that's going to care about you like this here. Because you got to understand, in my story, as I mentioned, my mother died a week before I graduated high school. My father gave me away that same day. So I was raised by my grandmother. She died the year I went to high school. So January 97. And then my mama was May 2001, and then my father was March 23. So at this point, you got to think about it. I really don't feel like I knew my parents because I lost my mom at 17, but I was a mama's boy in that story. So chances are a lot of you are meeting mama's boys that are basically looking for a mother figure instead of a girlfriend. You have that mother figure spirit. You got to understand, your mother was a strong woman. She made sure everything was taken care of and this and that. And she gave you that particular spirit. And at the same time, a mama's boy can basically see that spirit, because that spirit is at home and he wants a woman just like his mother. That's the reason why y'all need to stop saying that. You heard me? Because listen to the manipulation that's going on to it. You heard me? But watch this. You have no idea that you've been having that's considered as that motherly spirit. So every man that you done connected with tried to move in on you, and you allowed that to happen, and you was just basically raising another son. But you was loyal. You heard me? You took certain things from that relationship that you shouldn't have taken, but at the same time, you still believe that that relationship basically happened to you and not for you. Everything that you've experienced within this life has just been a class that you was taking. And in those classes, what I need you to understand is whatever story you've been thinking about tonight, you're still stuck in that same particular class. So I want you to visualize, just like you're sitting in this class right now, I want you to visualize you sitting in a class, everything that happened in that class, because there was a teacher. Who's the individual? I keep asking people all the time, my baby, who do you still need to forgive? Oh, I forgave everybody, but you're still not living in your purpose. So if you forgave everybody, you claiming that you forgave yourself, then why you still not, why is there's no change? Oh, the Lord told me to make sure that I start living for myself. How selfish is that? A life that's not even yours, and you still want it to be about you, my baby. You prideful. You heard me? Watch. You prideful. My baby, they taught you. They taught you how to break your own heart over and over again. And there's not a, you got to understand, you have a godfather, you have a favorite uncle, whichever, that told you as a young girl that he's going to always be there for you. Or in that world, you're going to a church and you're starting to move up in the ranks at that particular church, and you're saying how that church is so anointed. The people there are so anointed and all this other stuff, but none of those people can tell that you are living the wrong life. Nah, don't think I'm sitting here talking about churches. I'm just sitting here just letting you know there's a different thought to everything. Because if you understand the church, there was no church that closed down during the pandemic. They got a bunch of businesses that closed down during the pandemic. Why you think they never have? Because it's just like the school system. Think about it. If you one of my sisters and you are an elementary teacher, I need you to really think about what your career is actually offering you right now, because chances are you can move up to the 7th through 12th, but at the same time, you choose to chill right there when in actuality, my baby, you chilling in a situation that I don't think you even thought through yet. You've been a elementary teacher for 10 years or whatever the situation, and you'll do it all over again if you could. But my baby, think about this. They have given you access. As much as you say that you love those children, as much as you will do for any one of your students, my baby, you helping them children to continue to get manipulated. Not only by their families, but by the school districts, the school system, teaching those children about Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and the Tooth Fairy with no conviction. And y'all getting paid to do it. Think about it. I'm going to go ahead and get out your hair, you heard me. I wanted to keep going, but I'm going to go ahead and stop. You know what I'm saying? It's already 8:30. I know that y'all have a multitude of things, better things to do on a Friday night. You heard, man. My alarm clock set at 2 a.m., so I'm going to grab me some rest. I'm going to shower up, and then it's over with. You heard, man. It's been a beautiful conversation tonight. There was so much more I wanted to talk about, but at the same time, I can only give you so much, because I know that someone came here empty, and right now, I know you gassed up, you ready to go. You're still being seen by the wrong people. And as long as you keep being seen by the wrong people, that's the reason why your energy goes so fast whenever you're around certain people. But you never realize that that person is nothing but an energy vampire that you allowing in your particular story, that's making sure that they're going to keep you weak. That's just like with the males out there. My brother, tap into semen retention. Every woman that you slept with, that individual, all she did was basically take your spirit. And then after taking your spirit, you decide to go home, and the next few days you play with yourself, taking away your energy on your own. That ain't nothing but a spirit. You are sleeping with a demon. You heard, man? Tap into what demon that you sleep. I'm going to see if you're going to do your homework. Tap into the demon that you sleep with when you masturbate. You heard me? There's a lot of single women that I always ask, my baby, are you sleeping with a demon in your single season? But anyway, we're gonna talk again soon. You heard me? It was a blessing to have y'all. Thank y'all for the likes. You heard me? Thank y'all for the comments. I do accept one-on-one calls. You heard me? If you believe that you're in season for change, and you want to heal, you heard me, or you want to potentially heal, because you got to understand, where did they teach healing? You heard me? Where did they teach healing in the baby raising manual? You're not teaching them daughters that there's something if you got a daughter that's 20, you need to tell that daughter she about to piss away 10 years. You better not watch her do that. You need to have a sit down conversation, or sit down with me. Let me talk to her. You heard me? Because at the same time, you keep telling them, cheering that you love me or do anything for them, but look at what you're really doing to them. Think about what they did to you. So, my baby, it's time to change all that. I am Tommy Durrell. I focus on the mindset. I focus on changing the narrative. As I mentioned, I accept one-on-one calls. Jump into my inbox if that's you, because I'd rather not reach out, because I don't want to deal with somebody that's not ready. They just want to try to hold conversation with me, to sit up here and dream. And no, my baby, if you're ready, let's go get it. You heard, man. Let's see what we can do. Let's allow the Lord to change you from the inside out. You heard, man. It's nothing but a washing machine, my baby. Well, anyway, y'all be safe. You heard me. I love y'all. We'll talk soon. God bless.